Good evening, everyone. My name is Halley, Parmele, and today I'm essentially going to be walking you through getting to know people on a whole new level. And I forgot the clicker. Okay, so whether you're walking down the street, walking down the hall, or even walking around your cubicle at work, you're going to be meeting people. This inevitably leads to making stereotypes, whether you realize it or not. So, when you see this person, who do you think of? You probably assume that he's your stereotypical nerd. Or, when you see Mr. and Mrs. Trump, how do you stereotype them? Well, if you're like the rest of society, you probably assume that she's a trophy wife. And finally, when you see Karen from Mean Girls, you probably assume that she's a dumb blonde. But what people fail to realize is that there aren't just stereotypes in the general public, but there are also stereotypes in the career field as well. So, when you think of a police officer, you probably assume he has a box of donuts in his hands. Or, when you think of construction workers, you probably assume that they're being lazy on the job and catcalling women. And finally, my favorite, when you think of a plumber, you probably assume that he's bent over under the sink with his crack hanging out. Now, when it comes to marketing or any other job and career field, you're going to see that there is some type of stereotype that does follow it around. When it comes to marketing, I've learned that you have to overlook this stereotype in order to get the full and correct answer to the two main questions you're trying to find out, which are, one, how did your company's consumers learn about your service? And the second, why is the consumer using your service over others? Now, when I was a freshman starting Kickapoo High School, my parents and I were both very interested in the program called Kickapoo University. My parents were interested because they saw the benefits that it possessed, while I was more interested in getting out of class. Fortunately, 4 years down the road, I've seen that the benefits do outweigh getting out of class much more. It has many different requirements, which include many things, such as a giant push when it comes to dual enrollment courses. This will allow me to start college with over 30 hours. Not only that, but we also are required to have over 150 hours of volunteerism, which is one of the main reasons why I'm in many of the courses, many of the clubs I'm in today, which include Pay It Forward, National Honor Society, the Writing Center, Chief Mentoring, and A+ Tutoring. Not only this, but we're also required to have many job shadow experiences as well as required courses. When I was a freshman, I took the class Introduction to Speech. This gave me a glimpse of my love for analysis and my comfort with public speaking, which is the main reason why I joined the Kickapoo High School Speech and Debate team, which is home to some of my biggest accomplishments and favorite memories from all of high school. And I have Kickapoo University to thank for that. So when I realized I had to do an internship, I had no idea what I wanted to do still. So I decided I needed to really go back and understand who I am in order to choose the right place for me. So going back, I always remember the thought that my parents were considered helicopter parents, or overprotective. They're just another way of being very caring. And so I was they always wanted to know exactly where I was going, when I was going to get there, how I was going to get there, who was going to be there, whose parents were chaperoning, when I was going to be home, and of course, when I was going to get my chores done. So this automatically made me a huge planner. I planned everything, whether it was going to the movies with friends, or even just staying at another friend's house. I was all over it. This made me extremely overbearing at times. So, my family and I had the idea that I would put this overbearing planner energy into a specific career field, into my internship, which is why I got my internship with Gig Salad. So, you may be asking, what is a Gig Salad? Well, Gig Salad is a safe online platform for anybody, basically, whether that's an event planner, a producer, or even a crazy birthday party planning mom, to browse, contact, and hire any type of party service, whether that is a juggler, an Elsa and Anna impersonator, or even all of our favorites, catering. Marc Steiner is the CEO and co-founder of Gig Salad. His stereotype is considered the self-centered rich guy. But in order for us to really understand gig salad and Marc Steiner, we need to look behind this stereotype and get to know it. Marc thought that he wanted to get a degree in the culinary arts, but soon he realized that his passion lied in the theater. He wanted to act. So what he did was he took his culinary arts knowledge and he catered to different productions around the area. He did this for 10 years, landing many small parts. But then after a while, he realized he wouldn't be able to finish his life out doing that. So he decided he wanted to create something where he could help the people that were going through what he was. So he created Gig Salad and opened it up to everyone who was struggling. The Gig Salad family. Martin Luther King Jr. once stated, "We have all come in different ships, but we're all in the same boat now." And I believe this to be very true for the Gig Salad family. They're also very different, which is why the stereotype of them being the dysfunctional family, I believe actually upholds, considering they all are so very different and unique. Yet they put all of these differences aside in order to make Gig Salad what it is today. I interned specifically under Tessie Barnett. Her job title is the main content strategist at Gig Salad. And her stereotype would be considered the workaholic. But in order for Tessie to be successful at her career, she has had to learn to balance not only her work life, but also her home life. This means that she was able to be motivated for the tasks to come. I had many tasks while I was at Gig Salad. My first included creating a wall-sized 12-month color-coded calendar. This allowed me to go color-coding crazy and use all of my crazy planning energy on it. I basically planned all of the marketing team's trips, which would be out of city and even out of state for the next 12 months. Some other responsibilities I had while I was at Gig Salad was I created an online calendar, more for the employees this time. This one included more fun holidays, such as today. Today is January 13th, but today is also National Sticker Day, as well as Rubber Ducky Day. Not only this, but something I did under the marketing team at Gig Salad that you normally wouldn't think of was I hand wrote over 200 different thank you cards. So I really understood the voice of a business. One of the final things I did while I was at my internship was I learned many different research projects. I was able to figure out exactly when the best time to post on social media is for a certain target audience. And finally, my favorite project that I had while I was at Gig Salad was I was in charge of running the different social medias, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This allowed me to really understand the voice of a business. But not only that, I got to communicate with the customers in personal and trendy ways. So you may be wondering what I want to do after all of this, and I have decided I do want to go into marketing. Specifically, one day I would love to have the job title of a content strategist or even a chief content officer. This is exactly what Tessie does. She's in charge of the marketing department. Specifically, I would be doing many marketing strategies as well as posting on blogs and social media. This would include writing articles, conducting many research projects, and finally, hosting many interviews. Some attributes that I feel are very important when it comes to this position is not only you must be organized, not only in your workspace, but also within your head. You must have a very clear-cut mind in order to succeed. Finally, you must also be balanced. Just as I said Tessie was, you must make sure that you have a good balance between your home life and your work life. You want to make sure you are full of energy and have full motivation for the tasks ahead of you. And finally, you have to be very personable. You're going to be meeting with numerous different people throughout your day. Not only people within your workplace, but also in other companies, and even other clients that are around. Therefore, you need to have a good attitude, and you must be personable towards them. Finally, why does this interest me so much? I have two things that motivate me immensely. The first one is travel. And when you're on a marketing team, you're probably going to be traveling to other places for conferences, which means I'll not only get to experience a new way of life and new cultures, but I'll also get to learn things from these conferences that I will be attending, which is actually my second motivation, which is continual education. Marketing has always been around. Ever since people have been buying and bartering from other people, we've seen marketing, whether that's in door-to-door salesmen or even on posters. But today we see that it's much different. Today, it's through online and even in social media. Therefore, we see that it is continually evolving. There will always be a need for someone to be in marketing. And so that helped with my idea of continual education, which is how I plan to further my education at Missouri State University in their College of Business, where I will be majoring in marketing. Finally, the biggest thing and most important thing I've learned when it comes to marketing is that you need to overlook the different stereotypes that are present in today's world, and you need to step into other people's shoes to fully understand them. You may be very surprised by what you find, and this is key to be successful in marketing and the rest of the careers that you would be going into. So finally, because I did so much of this at my internship, I want to give my 201st thank you to all of you. Thank you very much.